Hello, welcome, and thank you all for being here. This is book review number 2. For all of you that checked out book review number 1, when I talked about the $100 startup, I appreciate you guys and appreciate you returning to hear more of me do a book review. That means a lot to me as I bring on this new challenge. Today's book review is called The No Complaining Rule by John Gordon. This is a book. It's a small book. You see, I read it. I work in athletics. We had a road trip. I read it in one weekend, really one day. But I'll get started with the 7 review things. Remember, 7 reviews I'm going to talk to you about. Was the book easy to read? Where did I get it from? I'm going to give you a summary, takeaways, benefits, what stood out the most, practical steps, and how to implement them. All right, so let me get started. This book was easy to read, as you saw. I think the book has like 180 pages, I think, maybe. Let me see real quick, 145 pages, so it was easy to read. Where did I get it from? Like I said, I work in athletics. The previous staff, before I got there, they had a whole bunch of books around. And I was like, hey, in my role, I'm working to develop our young men, so I thought it was a good book. And so that's where I got it from. Summary. So this book talks about Hope. Hope is a young lady. She's the main character of the book, and she is going through a lot of circumstances in her life, not only work but also in her physical body. And as she goes to the hospital for the physical checkups, she meets a nurse, someone that works at the hospital named Joyce. And Joyce has this amazing rule called the no complaining rule. So the book kind of highlights the relationship between Hope and Joyce, and how Joyce's rule, the no complaining rule, helps Hope in all the areas of different facets of her life. Takeaways, benefits. This book really speaks to combating the mindless chronic complaining. The book does acknowledge that complaining will happen and can happen, and in a lot of cases justifiable, but it's the mindless chronic, oh, here we go again, or whatever it may be, the complaining that has no solution. And that's the biggest thing. The book wants you to combat that and then create solutions. Another takeaway, this one hit heavy. I remember exactly when I read this sentence last year. We were going to play a team, and it talked about negativity costing the U.S. economy between $250 and $300 billion each year. $1 billion. That is astronomical. 90% of all doctors' visits deal with stress. That's from the CDC. And negative employees scare off every customer they speak with for good. I'm gonna read that again. Negative employees scare off every customer they speak with for good. That's a big takeaway there if you're a business owner, or if you run a business, or whatever, wherever you work, or just in your life. What stood out to me the most, kind of going back on that, is one negative person can create a miserable office environment for all. Unfortunately, in my professional career, I have been, this has happened, and I've seen how one negative person can sap the skills, the energy of so many individuals. And that just stood out to me the most because I've seen that, and I want to make sure that I'm not that person in the office. Some practical steps that the book provided for us. Number 1, practice gratitude. Number 2, praise others. Number 3, focus on success. Number 4, let go. And number 5, pray and meditate. So for me, how do I implement these? With practice gratitude, I have something called Thankful 30s. So twice a week, I take 30 minutes to call, text, or write letters to people that have been instrumental to me in my life. Praise others. Once again, I'm writing letters. I'm on Twitter. Somebody does something great, I want to say, hey, man, or hey, young lady, great job. Focus on success. I do a year in review. And so in the year in review, I get to see what I've done. I've done month in reviews, week in reviews, even day in reviews. In my planner, it has a section that says, what are some great things that happened this week? So getting that success down, let it go. I let it out verbally, normally to myself, and then I move on. And then pray and meditate. I use an app called Headspace to meditate, clear my mind. And then when I pray, I actually write out my prayers because it helps me get my mind focused on what's ahead. But like I said, the book, John Gordon, thank you for this book. There are a lot of resources in the book, a lot of resources. If you find yourself needing some energy, if you find yourself even thinking you're negative, I think this book is for everyone. There's a test at the end. I took the test last year. I found out I was a complainer. I retook the test this year. I was middle of the road, so the difference is 1 point. So I still have a long ways to go into positivity. But thank y'all for being here. Once again, the book is The No Complaining Rule by John Gordon. It is a great, easy read that will have a positive impact on your life. Have a great one, and thank you for stopping by Read by Ed.